So this idea that you had to go catch your horse was because that's all you did. When you went and got a horse, you brought them in, you brushed them, you rode them, you brushed them again, you threw them back in the field, or you had to go out and catch them for a vet appointment, or you had to go out and catch them for a farrier. But it was always for us to do something to them. I wouldn't even say with them. Even when I was taking horseback riding lessons, we were never really taught how to partner with a horse. There was no conversation around that. It was like how to take care of a horse, how to take care of your saddle, make sure that you learn how to pick their hooves out and brush them. Yes, but it wasn't about like how to ask the horse, hey, do you even want to go for a ride today? I bet you many of those, especially those riding lesson ponies would be like, no, thank you. Like, who wants to sign up for riding around in a dusty arena in circles for 6 hours a day? Nobody. Yes, today on the podcast, I got a little horsey. Today's topic, are you coming in too hot? Understanding your fearful dog's mind. Let's get into it. Ready to have a calm and peaceful life with your dog without the stress of those fear-based behaviors? Hi, I'm Tracy, and I've been there, overwhelmed by all the conflicting dog training advice and unsure of what to do next. But now I help dog lovers like you simplify your life with your dog by building confidence naturally, fostering trust, and addressing those fear-based challenges. So, if you're ready, stop chopping those chicken wieners and let's get to it. Hey there, friend. If you have a fearful dog, a reactive dog, or hey, just a dog that you're trying to understand on a deeper level, this is your invitation. Come on and join me inside the Fearless Framework, a 12-month online coaching program where we ditch the tools and the gimmicks and the overwhelm, and we lean into trust, communication, and relationship. Inside, you're going to learn how to stop trying to control your dog and start leaning into how you can influence them naturally, clearly, and compassionately. Because when you do that, I'm telling you, everything else gets easier. So if you're ready to stop second guessing and start showing up with calm, clear direction, head on over to beyondobedience.ca/fearless, and I can't wait to get started. Your dog's ready for this, and I know you are too. I'll see you there. Well, hello, my beautiful friend. It is Tracy. Welcome to Beyond Obedience, the podcast. Super duper welcome if you're brand new. And if someone sent you here, tell them, hey, Tracy says, hey, thank you. Thank that friend for sending you this way, because it is my passion, but it is also my mission to reach and help as many dog lovers like you and me to find ways to connect with our dogs on a deeper, more meaningful level, to create bonds of trust that help us to influence their behavior and not necessarily have to get all the equipment and all the things. I remember, that just took me back. I remember, oh gosh, back in the day, and I had a dog that everyone was working with. Trainers were coming from all over to work with this dog, and honestly, there was so much equipment on that dog. So much equipment. Now listen, friend. I'm not against equipment. I'm not against treats. I'm not against any of those things. Please hear me when I say this. But I do believe that equipment and our treats become crutches to our relationship. They become the thing that we lean on, and we forget that we're working towards something with less equipment, with less reliance on treats and external factors. We are enough. You are enough. We're all enough. We're enough for our dogs. Your dog is designed for social connection. It's in their genetic DNA. So they want to connect with us. We just need to find a way to do it better. You know what I'm saying? We just need to find a way to do it better. Anyway, I digress. It just, when I was thinking about that, I was like, yeah, I still remember, like, I made the joke that the next trainer's going to come out with that dog and all that gear, and they're going to be wearing full-on hockey gear, just shoulder pads, a face mask. They're just like, we're going to take the dog for a walk, you know? So much equipment. Like, I'm like, I don't know, that's So much equipment. Anyway, the good old days. We live and we learn. We live and we learn. And when we know better, we do better. That's the whole goal to all of this. But I wanted to talk a little bit today about the concept of the prey mindset versus a predator mindset. And I was reminded of this because I've been going through some things. Oh my gosh. Are we maybe it's just me. I'm at an age now. I'm at an age now where I'm reminiscing about things gone by, because of my kids are getting older and they're getting more independent and they're leaving, and one's in college and my other, anyway. So now I'm just like looking back at Facebook memories and all the things. But I was thinking about, and I had stumbled across one of the first events we ever did when we had our horse facility, and it was Magic's first ride, and just my whole journey through natural horsemanship. And I've probably told this story before. I was going to say, stop me if you've heard this, but nobody's here to stop me except the two dogs that are still in this room with me. But because I didn't learn my lesson last time. If you heard the last episode, you know that those dogs wrestled the entire time that I was recording, and the moment I was done, I looked down and they were passed out on the floor. I don't know what he's got now. What do you? No, that's a yoga block. See? Ugh. That's not the toy. Give me that. Here, I left you all these toys. The podcast room is also my workout room. Sorry. I'm leaving that in there because real life. This is real life podcasting. There we go. Okay. It's got his bone now. It was an honest mistake. Yoga block, dog bone, they look the same. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, so back in the day when I first got into horses, I don't even know if that was what I'm saying, but it's what I'm saying now, friend. Hashtag menopause. I had started doing natural horsemanship exercises. One of the very first exercises that they got us to do was this idea of going out and being with. Oh, I have talked about this because I've talked about be with before. How I've learned, I have a hybrid be with between horses and dogs. Yeah, so I've talked about this before. If you've heard it, put your hand up. Stop me if you've heard it, but you can't. So you're going to hear it again. But it was the very first very first exercise. And it was like, go out to the field and just hang out with the horse. Now, we had a bunch of horses at the time because we were a boarding facility. So there was like probably about 5 or 6 horses. But the horse I was intentionally trying to spend time with was Magic. And so I'm like, all right, no big deal. I go out there and they're like, bring a stool, bring a book if you have to, but just kind of hang out with them. And at first I thought it was just to kind of see how peaceful it was to hang out with horses while they munch grass, and it sounded all romantic and everything. So off I go. I'm like, this should be like, it's kind of stupid, but I'm going to do it anyway because I was committed. I paid a lot of money for that program. So I was like, I'm committed to follow this through to the end. Go out to the field. And as I'm heading towards the field, the horses who were softly grazing grass and just, it was a beautiful day, blah, blah, blah. They look up at me, they see me, and did they all not leave? They all left. Some of them quite abruptly. Like, they were all like, see you, sucker. Like, they left. And I was like, whoa, what is that about? I ended up following them for quite some time. Like, come on, be my friend. It was pathetic. And it really hurt my feelings. It really hurt my feelers. And I realized in that moment that that was the point. That one of the things after that lesson was when we had to come reflect on what happened. I wasn't the only one, which made me happy. A lot of the other students in the program were like, yeah, the horse just left. My horse didn't want to hang out with me. And that was kind of the point. And the idea behind this exercise was to show us a couple of things. One, that horses are quite often just quote unquote used. Right? We go out there with a purpose. Every time we go out to the field, we're going to do something with them. We're going to catch them, right? And that's what they call it too. Go catch your horse, right? Like it's a game. Like, go catch your horse. I remember when I was taking riding lessons as a kid, that's what my riding instructor would always be like. She would like call, because we had riding lessons at the barn that I was born, and she would always be like, listen, I want to make sure you guys go catch your horses before I come. You don't want to waste 20 minutes of your lesson running around chasing after your horses. So this idea that you had to go catch your horse was because that's all you did. When you went and got a horse, you brought them in, you brushed them, you rode them, you brushed them again, you threw them back in the field, or you had to go out and catch them for a vet appointment, or you had to go out and catch them for a farrier. But it was always for us to do something to them. I wouldn't even say with them. Even when I was taking horseback riding lessons, we were never really taught how to partner with a horse. There was no conversation around that. It was like how to take care of a horse, how to take care of your saddle, make sure that you learn how to pick their hooves out and brush them. Yes, but it wasn't about like how to ask the horse, hey, do you even want to go for a ride today? I bet you many of those, especially those riding lesson ponies, would be like, no, thank you. Like, who wants to sign up for riding around in a dusty arena in circles for 6 hours a day? Nobody. But there was no discussion around it. It was never even brought up as maybe you could just hang out with your pony. That wasn't a thing that happened. So sort of all of these interesting things. I'm reliving my childhood, so welcome to this ride. But my whole point was that the idea of it was to let you know that that's like our direct line thinking as a human. But it is also a very predator-like thing to do. So when we're talking about horses being prey and us being predators, because we're very direct line thinkers, and when we go out into the field, we go out and in a straight line, we just head for the horses. Like, there they are. We know the shortest distance between two places is a straight line. So we just head straight out and we come at them and go get them. It sounds very predator, doesn't it, when I say it? And then we wonder why they go, no, thank you, and they leave. But see, the prey mind isn't like that. If you ever watch horses, how they approach things, they come in a kind of a C pattern. They sort of come at different angles. They come at this, they weave down the field. They do this sort of C-like behavior because they're prey. They're checking out their six. They are alert. They are looking for things lurking in the long grasses that are going to jump out and attack them. So they don't ever go direct line. They want to make sure you don't know which way they're going, right? There's a much different mentality when it comes to the prey mind versus the predator mind. What does that have to do with dogs, you ask? Great question, my friend, because I know you're thinking, but dogs are predators, right, Tracy? Yes. Yes, they are. However, when our dogs are in fear mode, when they're in that fight, flight, avoidance mode, they are acting like prey. Not when they're fighting necessarily. Well, yeah, probably. Now that I'm thinking about it out loud. But they're acting like prey. When you are around a fearful dog, they have a prey-like mind. They're in survival. They think that you're going to kill them. They are fearing for their life. And because of that switch in how their mind is working, I wanted to take this opportunity today to talk about how do we approach fearful dogs, that we need to actually be a little bit more aware of our body presence, our energy, and how we approach them. Because many of us, even though we know that they're fearful, because we can see the basic common body language, right? They're shying away, they're curling their body up, they're making themselves look small, they're not making eye contact, all that stuff. Many of us will still walk up to them. Straight line walk up to them. It's a very predatory way to walk up to something. Even if we then crouch down and then we stick our hand out, how we approach a dog matters. What energy is coming from us matters, right? I constantly talk to, when I used to teach kids about dog safety stuff. I used to remind kids that when I say don't look at them, that means don't look at them with all three of your eyes. And I was talking about their two eyes and their belly button. Because kids were great at still kind of walking straight at a dog, but turning their head ever so slightly, looking out the corner of their eye, but coming straight at them. And I'm like, you're still kind of scaring the dog, right? You're still coming at them like a predator. And even worse, people will come at dogs and then they lean over top of them like you're gonna grab them by the throat, you know? We pet them on top of the head, close to the area like the neck where a predator may grab them. So all of these little tiny things that we do, because we are predators, we think that way. That's how our brain works. We don't really have a lot of defensive behaviors or prey-like behaviors because we're at the top of the food chain. Not much scares us anymore. We're not out there running for our lives or being chased by woolly mammoths. Do they chase us? I don't know. What? Woolly mammoths? What are you talking? I was trying to go back to like caveman days. I don't know. Was it woolly mammoths? Do they chase things? I don't know. That this is what you get when I think on my feet. Woolly mammoths. Anyway, saber-toothed tigers. That's one that used to kill us, right? Saber-toothed tigers. Is that fictional? I don't even know. You get my point, right? You get my point. So, I want you to sort of start to be aware of that. I want you to be aware of, and hey, watch some nature documentaries. Right? Look at the difference between watch National Geographic for a while and look at the difference in the approach between predators versus prey. And then kind of consider that even though dogs are technically predators, if you have a fearful dog, they're going to be acting like prey. Their mind is in a prey-like state. So they're going to be checking their sixes. They're going to be like, they're not going to want to come directly over. They're going to need to approach and retreat and approach and retreat and come at you from a whole bunch of different angles to ascertain that you are not going to kill them. I talk a lot about that inside the Fearless Framework, that approach and retreat way that fearful dogs have to assess before they can feel safe. Right? So it's all about safety, but it's also all about how are we moving? Not only how we're moving, how quickly are you moving? There's a kind of a fine line between speed. Like speed matters to dogs, right? When we're talking about survival things, distance and speed and how you approach them. So if you're coming at them direct line, if you're coming at them too fast, I like to call it, you're coming in too hot. You're coming in way too hot with your hand outstretched, being like, smell my hand. Because we all think that apparently, fist bumping dogs in the face is what helps them feel safe around you. And it doesn't. Newsflash, doesn't. But we come at them fast and straight line with our hands stuck out at them. And that's really, really overwhelming. But also equally creepy would be if you're coming at them really slowly, but still straight line. Because that looks like you're stalking them. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, go watch some National Geographic and then get back to me and tell me what you think. So I want you to think about, how fast are you going? Are you making it creepy? Or you got your hand stuck out like a weirdo trying to fist bump dogs in the face? Don't do that. They don't like it, right? Consider your energy and how you're actually approaching them. Can you come up at a different angle? Can you sort of come at the dog in a different way that's less intimidating than coming straight at them head on, right? And I would say if you're someone who is fostering and you're fostering like a fearful dog, I would use this opportunity to kind of practice that. Just see like what happens when I come at you at this angle. Like how do you feel about that? You'll be able to pick up exactly what angle you should come at them, where they go, okay, that's not too bad. And if you really want to play a fun game, because who doesn't? Get your significant other or your kids or whatnot to play this game where you sit on the floor and have them come at you, straight at you with their fist out, and then lean over top of you while you're sitting on the ground. Tell me how uncomfortable that feels. Because I guarantee you it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable, and we do it unknowingly. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not we only know what we know, right? Like, we're predators, so we think this is how we move, this is what we do, and we say words like, it's okay, you're okay, buddy, it's okay, I'm a nice person. We say all these words that mean nothing to the dog, but we still come at them body language wise like we're gonna kill them, and then we wonder why they're not really responding the way that we would like them to. So I want you to start to just be aware of that. Are you coming in too hot, right? You need to understand the fearful dog's mind, because the fearful dog thinks like a prey animal and it looks like you're going to kill them. So change that. There you go. There you go. So you're going to invite softness, you're going to invite angles, you're going to invite some space, you're going to not be too creepy about your speed and how you approach them. You're going to play around with it a little bit, watch some National Geographic, and get back to me and tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. Was this helpful? I hope this was helpful. I was just reminiscing about my good old days doing natural horsemanship, because I'll tell you one thing. It was one of the greatest journeys I went on that really helped me to understand the fearful mind, was working with horses. Was really working with horses, because honestly, that was where I learned how to approach. And asking a horse for a cooperative relationship is so, one, it's very rewarding, but two, it was so eye-opening. Like, I'm not going to lie, as I was probably, how old would I have been? I would have been in my 30s when I started this. And I had some moments of reflection where I cried a little bit for the things that I did when I was younger with my first horse. And and the things, it's funny when I look back at it now, because I think to myself, I used to get really angry because before I got my car, I would bike all the way to the boarding barn where I kept my horse, and it was a long bike ride, and I'd get there and she would always inevitably go to the far end of the field, and I would spend most of my time, quote unquote, trying to catch her. And I remember going out with a bucket of grain to coax her in, and she never fell for it. I always got all the other horses, and she would always hang back. Oh my gosh, now reliving it, I'm also feeling bad. But she would always hang back, and I would try to like trick her by giving the food to the other horses, and she would eventually come and follow me. But it wasn't because of me. It was because she didn't want to be left alone in the field without her herd. So it was this cat and mouse game that I had to play every single time. And I used to get really upset with, especially when I was riding my bike there, because I was like, spent so much time riding my bike there. And then by the time I caught her, I was like, I'm exhausted and I have to ride you now. And then I got to ride all the way home. But I remember she got to the point when I had my first car, she would see my car coming down the road, and she would already start to head to the far corner of the field. And I was like, and I would be like, I was young, so I was like, yeah, oh, that horse. Like, I'd be like, look at you, and, make a big joke about it. But I never took the time to actually ask why. I never was like, I wonder why my horse runs away every time I come and get them, because I thought I was doing all the right things, right? I brushed her. I loved the bejesus out of this horse. I mean, she was my very first horse. I loved her so very much. And I loved spending time with her, and she was beautiful to ride. And I loved her, but I never asked why she didn't love me back. I never asked. And now, after, many, many years and doing natural horsemanship, I have a much different relationship with my horses. Like a much different relationship. Even this morning, I let them out and there's a little bit of snow, so they were kind of lollygagging before they went out into the field. And Sunny went halfway. She almost crossed the driveway into the field, and she turned around. She came back, and I went, "Oh, you want a hug?" And the funny thing is, she did. She came right up to me. I gave her a hug, a little scritch on the neck, scritched her under the chin, and then she like turned and she left. And I was like, that was nice. Like, she actually came back for some affection. I'm not holding food at that time. Right? I was actually preventing her from going out to the field. Like, she came back. It's an incredible difference that I have in the relationship with my horses than I had when I was a kid. And that truly came from taking the time to understand the species, to ask and not get hurt by the answer, and work your way through that. So, and that's kind of what I strive to do with dogs as well, and the people that I work with now. So there you go. A little insight back into my day with horses. I hope you found this interesting. If you did and you like this episode, please take a moment, share it with a friend. Be sure to go to Apple and leave me a 5-star written review on Spotify. I think you can rate it and leave me a comment. Anything that helps push this podcast out to more and more people. I truly appreciate you taking that time. And as always, my dog loving friend, get out there today and be the person that your dog thinks you are, because your dog thinks that you are amazing. And so do I. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye for now. And one more thing, this podcast is meant for entertainment and education purposes only, and is not meant to replace hands-on professional training. If you're really struggling with your dog, please reach out to a professional in your area. All right, I think that's it. Bye for now.